night screening of Suicide Squad will be taking place, and of course, I am pumped to see my boy Captain Boomerang take place on the big screen. However, before we get into it, let me just address the fact that today there was a ton of reviews that came out from people, and I did my best to avoid every single one. But you can't avoid all the headlines, they do pop up. And one of the headlines I saw today was that Suicide Squad was dead on arrival. That was from Time.com. Now, one of those things that actually sort of really stabbed me in the heart, because after my entire day of being able to avoid every review and stuff I could, most leaking out that it's going to be a negative experience for me and for us moviegoers, I couldn't help but feel that Time.com weighing in, probably not entirely necessary. I have no idea if this is a film for the fans, like say Warcraft was, or if this is a film for the average moviegoer like anyone who likes a Marvel film. But it is inevitable that people will compare Marvel films against DC films. It's just the way it goes. And if you're a comic book fan, you've dealt with that war your entire life. You've experienced DC or Marvel, you've probably been asked whether or not you're DC or Marvel. Hell, when I'm on Tinder, it's the first question I ask chicks just to know whether or not they're going to be on board with me, because I am a DC guy, and that is why I want to prefix this video with before I get into my review in the second half. I am a DC guy. I have always loved DC characters more. I have loved the Batman universe more than any others, and by all means am I not a unique snowflake in that. There is a lot of people who would call me and themselves DC fanboys and girls. That's just the way it goes. You like what you like. It's Pepsi or Coke thing. Nobody likes Pepsi. So when I go into this screening tonight, I'm going to be so jacked up and high, ready to actually see this do well, that there is a good chance that the review that I do when I come back from the screening will be biased. I personally don't feel there's anything wrong with having a biased opinion on things. If it is biased, if it isn't, if it's completely objective, it doesn't really matter. You're going to see every single review that can possibly go out here on YouTube. Plus, you're going to make up your own minds on how good Suicide Squad is going to be. And that is the most important thing. Even if you do see this review, even if you see other people's reviews, you read everything, you see Time.com's scathing expose, you look at Rotten Tomatoes and you sign the petition and say Rotten Tomatoes should be shut down because they're biased against DC films. If you do all that, one thing you should do, absolutely should do, is go see the film. Make up your own mind. That is the best thing I can actually say, and that's all I'm going to leave you with before I take off. Stay tuned. Okay, alright. I've just gotten back. It is 3 AM in the morning. First things first, the film is fun. It is actually very, very fun. I liked it. Look, there's a number of things that I could actually point out and say that they were rushing things, there was things that just kind of kept chopping and changing and moving about, but at this point it just kind of seems like that's how a DC movie is made, and we always gotta hope for the ultimate cut, which is disappointing, because you want to just have a good film, of course, but at the end of the day, I can't help but say that this film was fun. Suicide Squad is a fun movie. You just kind of sit and enjoy it. You don't have to think too hard. Is it hitting every single trope that every single comic book movie has done so far? Yes, but it's like people who are being negative against this kind of wanted it to be more than what it actually was. And that's natural. Like, we all want everything we see to be spectacular and amazing. But this is Suicide Squad. It's B-grade in its nature. It's got B-grade enemies, it's got B-grade heroes, it's B-grade everything. I mean, shit, you could even argue it's C and D grade on some of them. My only gripe, and of course I'm gonna say this, my only gripe is that there wasn't enough Boomerang. And the only other thing I will point out is that Jared Leto's Joker is genuinely unnerving. Like, it's the only Joker I've ever seen on screen where I wasn't just like, hey, I'm enjoying this Joker's amazing, this is fun. I actually felt very confronted with this version of the Joker. That's going to keep it spoiler free, so that's it. Suicide Squad, 2 thumbs up, it's great, go see it while it's still in cinemas because it's fun and you're going to enjoy it, and stick around for the mid-credits. Just a little tip from me to you. And yeah, you know, it's 3 AM man, I'm tired, go away.